I'm here to talk to you guys about pressure canning. So today we're going to be canning up a few things. You're going to see a plethora of canning videos. I'm trying to get butter done today, some rotisserie chicken, and maybe some vegetables. I'm not for sure yet. But nonetheless, definitely the butter and the chicken. But before I get started, I just want to show you guys the items that I use to do pressure canning. Number one, I invested in a 23-quart Presto Canner. I've already used it before, so I will be taking it out of the box. I keep it in the box to keep all the materials. I also keep a nice gallon, or yes, a gallon of vinegar on hand because this is going to help in the canning process. Also, I have my handy dandy canning tools. So what I do, and if you can come forward a little bit, baby boy, really quick, these are the items that I use. So I'm going to tell you really super quick what these items are for. Number one, you have your canning jar. This is a pint size. I use the 4 ounce, the 8 ounce. This is the 16 ounce, and I also use the 32 and 96 ounce as well too, but I'll share that with you guys later. So for the butter today, I'll be using the 16 ounce pint. I may run and get the 8 ounces to do a special butter. Maybe I might do a basil butter with oregano or something. I'm not for sure yet. But as the video continues, you will see. This important item here, which comes with all of this stuff, I don't know the name of it, but what this is used for is when you're putting your food inside of the jar, you use this tool in order for the food to come down, because one of the things is if something is greasy or sticky around the rim here, it can get on it. And when it comes to sealing in a pressure canner, it may break the seal. So that's where the vinegar comes in at, because what we do is we're going to get a napkin. Some people use water. I like to use vinegar, and I go around the rim once the items are in here. Next, I have the measuring stick. And when you put the items in here, which I will show you later, is you don't want to go past this line here. So what we do is, you see the little ridges there? It can kind of help you in determining how much of the food is in the jar. So that's what this for. And also, it is called the debubbler. So let's say whenever you have anything with liquid in it, you're going to go inside of the jar, which I will show you, because you want to make sure air bubbles are not in the jar, because that can help break the seal. This handy dandy tool helps you to lift and put in the containers inside of the canner. So I will be using this as well, and you'll be seeing me do that. It's easy to hold. It won't fall out of your hand. As long as you have that grip on it, you'll be fine. I never use this item, and to be honest with you, I think it really is to kind of like twist stuff off. I never use it. This is the magnet. This is used for when for me and for a lot of people, I put my lids, my jars are already washed, by the way, but these lids will go inside of a pot of hot water, and it will boil for maybe like 5 to a rolling boil, because I'm going to sanitize these lids again, right? And what I do when I take it out of the pot, I'm going to put it on top of there, and I'm going to go like that, okay? So this helps to take it out of the hot water. So this is your lid, this is your ring. You put the lid on top, you put the ring on top, and you turn. You don't turn it tight. What you do is you're going to turn it finger tight, which you'll see me do that once I get the products inside. Another thing that came with the kit here is measuring cups. There's one missing that I use a lot. So if I'm measuring something specifically and I don't want to because things inside of the jars can expand, I will use a certain measuring cup. I really honestly don't use a lot of this. I think today, oh, that's the thing I was supposed to make today. I'm supposed to make canned mac and cheese. That's what it is, canned mac and cheese. Now we'll get to that later, but that's called Rebel canning. Back to our canning materials here. So again, with measuring, I really don't use this, but I think today I'll be using one of these. Now these gloves did not come with canning. I saw them in Walmart. You can get them on Amazon or whichever store. These are grilling gloves. So when I'm working with the hot jars, I use them. It has a nice grip. I can hold my jars with it, and it's safe. You can grill with these as well too. So I bought me a pair of these as well too. So this is some of the items, majority of the items that I'll be using today. And as anything comes to me, I will continue to add and explain what I use when it comes to canning. Make sure that if you want to can, you get your pressure canner. You don't have to get the 23 quart. You can if you want. A lot of people use Presto. A lot of people use the All-American canner, which is about $500. This was $100 at the time. When I bought this, I have used this numerous of times, and in one of the videos, I will show you the things that I have canned and what's my favorite thing to can and why. But that will be another video. But I've used the Presto canner, and this kit here I bought from Amazon as well. I actually bought both of these on Amazon. My jars I get from Walmart, Target. You can get it from Ace Hardware. They have them in Lowe's. You know, you just look for what's the best price. The brand that I like to use for canning is called Ball. They have Kerr, Kerr. They also have Pure, Pur. I tried Pure, but a lot of my jars did not seal. I haven't tried Kerr, but those brands have been around just as well as Ball. And I think that I'm going to just stick with Ball jars, unless it's something that is... unless it's something that I'm not gonna really put in the canner, but I'm just using it to hold something. So with canning, one thing that I haven't done yet, but what I've been doing is my spaghetti sauce jars. As you can see, this is a classical jar. They operate just like a canning jar. So I've been saving these jars. I haven't, actually I have, to be honest with you. I put some of my tomatoes from my garden inside of the jar, and I water bath can. Water bath canning I don't do a lot of, but that's basically, you can water bath water. You can actually water bath can with your Presto canner. You just don't lock it. You can put the lid on top. However, you can put the lid on top, but you don't lock it. And it can go for 3-4 hours if you want. If not, you can use a regular pot, saucepan. In order for your jars to sit in the pan properly, you will use a kitchen towel to put at the bottom of the pot with water, and you will submerge the jars. The water will be above the jars like that, and they will boil for you. I don't think I'll be water bath canning anything soon, but if I do, I'll do a video on that. But I normally pressure can as well too. I'm gonna open up my pressure canner so you guys can see. This is an extra handle because I broke one of my handles. If you happen to want backup to your backup, like I had broke that handle, I actually found the pieces at Ace Hardware, but I ordered it off of Amazon. But one day I went into Ace Hardware and I saw that they had extra items for my canner. So here's the canner here. Here is your temperature gauge, your gauge. This gauge here shows your PSI. Every state has a PSI, which is the pressure that your canner has to be. For me, for my elevation, you can also Google your elevation. My elevation is 10. So when my knob comes up, it goes to 10, and that's where I know my pressure needs to be when I'm canning. It may be different in your area, so please make sure you look that up. Also, what happens if it goes past 10? Trust me, honey, it has been to 15, it's been to 14. I stay near my canner. When you're pressure canning, you are pressure canning. You're not leaving the house. You're not taking a nap. You're not doing none of that stuff. You are up, alert, and oriented, as we say in nurse, alert, oriented times 4 on room F. That means you're breathing. You're going to be watching. If it goes past 10, I'm not scared. And you will eventually, what I do is I put on these gloves here, because you will see it in the video, it'll be steaming out, and that lid goes on. So I will explain more and go step by step on the different things, because I know I'm not going to remember everything. But when it goes past 10 and that the pressure cap is on, you take it off, let the air steam out. You'll see the dial begin to go back. Don't let it drop past 10. If it do, it's fine, because if you're fighting with it, I would suggest you get a glove like this, and then you just put it back on. Sometimes when you learning your stove and what temperature of your stove that you can keep the gauge at 10, you will learn that. You need to make sure you're inspecting your pressure canner. You know your gauge is working. You want to make sure that pop lid, because once that goes up on your canner, that means it's locked. You better not open it up, because as what Homestead Heart says, then you don't want to see boom, okay? So, and when it depressurizes and you cut the stove off and it depressurizes, you leave the pot right on that eye and let it depressurize on its own, and the lid will pop down. When it pops down, I let my pot sit for 30 more minutes before I open up my lid. You also want to inspect your ring as well too. When you first get it and you wash it, you can get some oil, some cooking oil, and just go around it, because you want to make sure it has a nice seal. And then you put your ring back in, and every now and then you want to take this ring off, wash it off, and just grease it up. I'm gonna do that today too. I've even used Vaseline as well too. Inside of your pressure canner, you have this metal sheet here, because the jars are not going to sit on the bottom of the pan. It will sit on top of that, right? You can get about, I want to say 23 pints or something like that, because we have regular jars and we have wide mouth, which I don't have, but I will show you that as time permits. You just sit it inside of the canner. You don't hold the canner like this. It will be on the stove, and you just put it inside of the canner. Cold jars go in a cold canner. So, for example, if you have something that's cold and you're going to pressurize it, and the food or the liquid is cold, then you have a cold canner, cold jars. If you are doing something hot, for example, I'm going to be doing a butter. It's going to be hot because I have to melt the butter, right? So that means that I'm going to put my jars, which will be warm and which will be sterile, which means that I will put my jars inside of my oven, and I will sterilize it on 170. Sometimes I do 220. I will sterilize it for 30 minutes. Warm them up in the oven, put them on top of a cookie sheet for like 30 minutes, and then I have to be ready. What I want has to be ready. If it's not ready, I kind of open the oven up, let some of the heat out, but then I will put my hot material inside of my hot jar, and my canner will already be warm, and then I will put it in. The reason why is if you put a cold glass inside of a hot jar, hot canner, it's gonna go boom. It's gonna break. I only had it happen one time, and it wasn't me putting something cold inside of a hot thing. I put it on the kitchen counter. That's why I have a black towel, a special towel that I lay on top of my counter, because the cold and the hot won't mix and stuff won't break. And I think that is all for now when it comes to prepping and knowing your canner and the different canners that we have. There are also electronic if you want. I personally, I mean, people are scared of canners. I was a little intimidated, but when I watched Homestead Heart canning videos repeatedly over and over and over and over again, I must have watched it 4 or 5 times. I began to get confidence. My baby over there smiling. I think he's smiling, but when I say my baby, my husband, I began to get more confidence in doing it. And I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm not gonna lie to you. The first thing that I canned didn't come out well. I canned some beans, and I didn't realize the beans expanded, this, that, and the other, and I just threw the product away. It was a waste of money, but it wasn't a waste of money because it was a learning thing. So what some people do, and I would suggest if you want to build confidence, is Dollar Tree has canning jars as well too. If you can get like a few of them that you know you can you can use for something else. They have lids in jars, canning jars. You can practice by putting water inside of the canner and putting it inside the canner for maybe 30 minutes or so, and then take it out. And when you take it out and you let it cool off, once you unscrew it, maybe the next day, you can look to check for if it seals. And that will give you confidence as well too. I see people practice like that. That's not least. I'm gonna show you some, I didn't even bring out the quart, oh gosh, but it's okay. It's okay, you'll see a quart later. This is a canning jar that I use. I have not put it in a pressure canner, but I use it for other things. I'll talk about what I use this for in another video, but they do have this size. This is, I think, this is a wide mouth jar, and this holds 5 cups, 3 pints, a little more. As you can see, this is a regular mouth jar here, a regular mouth jar. This is what we call a wide mouth jar, which is this kind of jar. That's my work cell phone ringing. That is a wide mouth jar, and this is a 16 ounce, okay? As you can see, the lid is just a little wider. And this is the difference between a wide mouth and a regular jar. This is the regular 16 ounce. This is the wide mouth. They also make these in quarts as well too. And when it comes to canning, lids are always great because sometimes you may get a defective lid. You need to always inspect your lids. I buy extra lids. You can always have rings. But I always try to keep extra lids because as time progresses and I use jars, some people say you can reuse the lid. I haven't got to the point to where I had to reuse the lid, but I'm keeping extra lids. 4 Jars is a company that a lot of people rave about. So if I'm not using a ball jar lid, I'm using 4 Jars, and I got it in bulk. And the reason why I am stocking up on lids is because, number one, we get a lot of aluminum products from Canada, and you know the things that's been happening with Canada. As we raise tariffs, they raise tariffs. So I began to stock up on stuff, foil paper, things that use a lot of aluminum. I began to stock up on, which is basically foil paper for me. And these lids are a few things that I stocked up on. Because I don't know in the future what the future may look like. That's why it's called prepping, and making sure you have things that you want. And also prepping for me as of now is going to be a lifestyle for me. This is things that people did back in the day, our ancestors did back in the day. Whether you're black, white, purple, green, it don't matter. People had prepared for winter. They prepared for economic crises. They prepared for, whatever. And I just want to make sure me and my family, my loved ones, my neighbors can have some things. I want to make sure I bring these things to you because I'm an educator at heart. I'm a nurse, but I'm an educator at heart. I love to teach people things that I know. I like to share and bring to people as well too. And also a lot of my friends on Facebook always ask me to do a YouTube channel. They didn't know I already had one that pertained to my nursing journey. A lot of those videos may be locked. I did a few weight loss journey videos that may be locked as well too. and it was under Back to Me 2011. That's my old name. I now changed it to Grow Renee too, because I'm growing spiritually, I'm growing emotionally, I want to do better financially, I want to do better physically. It's just so many different areas, but I can only do it at one time. So I hope that this video is encouraging to you guys. I'm going to give a special shout out to Mrs. Hart from Homestead Heart, because she has taught me a lot of things in regards to canning, and also to Grammy Yah, GRAMMYYAH. I'm giving her a special shout out too, because she's also someone that encouraged me, and I did she was one of the first recipes that I actually did. And is it Red Rose Homestead or Rose Red Homestead? She's so sweet. She's amazing. She is someone who is very well highly educated and loves her. She goes scientifically behind it. I'm not one of those ones that's going to be like always telling you how many in cups or something like that, but I try to. But as far as like a pH or something, or the chemical background or something, I'm not gonna go that deep, but she does, if you're interested in stuff like that. So guys, I hope you like my canning video, me sharing the things that I'm using to can. I'm gonna be bulk what they call it bulk recording. I'm gonna try my best to do that today. So don't forget, please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.
That's why, watch this, 20% of the people are off. Because something in you clenches, still feel like you're drowning. Because money does not fix wounds, it exposes them. Should I stay there, Sean, or should I keep going?